Hello, everybody. This is Heike from Horse World Connect, and today we're going to be talking to Gloria Leibecker from Healing with Horses Sanctuary. Hi, Gloria. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent. So my first question is always, what is your background with horses? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, horses basically saved my life when I was just a young girl. There were some unfortunate events that happened, and I was able to have a little mare that was a little black Morgan mare, and every chance I got, I would go out and I would have time with her. And so she was my best friend, she was my confidant, and I just loved her to pieces. And through that connection, it met so many needs for me that at the time I wasn't aware of, but now as I reflect back over my life, it's a lot of those teachings that I'm able to use when I'm working with my clients. As I grew older, and then I came back and I got to have horses in my life, my daughters, who are now in their later 20s, they had some unfortunate events in their life that happened, and I was able to bring horses into their world so that they would begin to reestablish trust in their relationships and confidence in their lives. And I would support them in developing themselves in that way and the relationship with the horses. So it was a very similar experience, but different. And that too then goes towards developing the skill sets that I have. And we found Buck Brannaman, who we were able to then take a lot of clinics with him, and Robert Finney, who trained under him, would come and work with us in our herd every week. And so there was a lot about developing that relationship of trust on the ground that I've really carried forward in my work that I have today.
Nice. So what exactly do you do in your horse-related business? What kind of services do you provide people?
Well, the main header, I guess, would be equine facilitated learning, coaching, and healing. And I have a variety of different types of programs. I can work with the individual, with couples, with families, or groups, which could be a variety of different types of groups. Families are a group. Or it could be a teen group. It could be a women's group, a men's group. It could be a business-related group. Depending on what their need is, then I would customize a program to contribute towards those needs being met. But the main part of it is to awaken heart-based leadership and really authentic expression for both individuals as well as the team.
Leadership and expression, I love that. So what is your vision as it pertains to not only horses, but also the people that you work with?
Well, for there to be a place where when people step onto the land, they really have a felt sense of peace and of possibility. And as they have that opportunity to develop a relationship of trust with a horse, they get to know the horse as another being rather than as a tool to be used. And the horses as well, when they participate in that energy field of healing, it really affects them as well, profoundly. And so what I really love is providing the opportunity for horse and human to develop the ability to communicate with one another, and for that to really benefit their lives and the lives where those ripples go on out into the world.
Mm-hmm. So when people come to you, seek you out, do they know the specific challenges that they have, or do they explore? They just know that something's not right, and then through working with you and horses, they then realize what the underlying problem actually was or is. How does that work?
It can be a mixture of both. There are times that people will come because they're struggling with anxiety, or they're struggling with grief, or or they are feeling just unsafe in the world, or maybe they are just going through a transition. They're getting ready to retire, and they're trying to find, well, what's next? So there can be a variety of reasons that they would come. But one of the main reasons that people find me is because the other modalities or places they've reached out to didn't really meet the need that they had. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of an alternative type way of exploring what is the answer. With the equine facilitated learning, coaching, and healing, when people come, I view them as whole and complete and resourced. And I partner with my horses to reflect back what they already have within them, for them to actually hear and see themselves, to discover their own answers, because they have their own answers. And that in itself is liberating and healing to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So are all of your services hands-on, or do you also provide services via, I don't know, Skype consultations or long distance?
Mm-hmm. I do have international clients and groups. I have an annual program that opens up in January of every year. Actually, it opens up like in November for people to sign up. And I use Zoom technology so everybody can be in a virtual room together. And I have, depending on what the focus of the group is going to be, this year it's on deepening compassion for your life journey. I will create visuals that I send out, and then we explore them together. And then each person, there's a rotation where they get to be held in a depth process, which I use a variety of energy tools to support them, tapping or energy medicine, depth empathy, and it builds really strong, solid, enduring community, which is quite lovely to experience.
Yeah,
I also have
great.
One-on-one clients, depending on what their needs are. I've also worked with couples. I can use Skype or Zoom, whichever works best for them. And it's been the technology's been wonderful to be able to be accessible to people more readily, and they don't have the time travel. When they're able to come, I also offer like personal intensives here at the Healing with Horses Sanctuary, and can customize to meet the needs of what they're coming to explore.
Yeah, that customization. Well, I love the community and then the individual customization, right? I just love that. And like you said, technology makes this possible right now. That's wonderful. I just love that. My next question would be, if you had 3 wishes for the horse world, what would they be?
Well, the first one's quite easy because it's a dream I've always had, that for there to be shared reality of horse as a sentient being. And there's just so many pieces that go into that, so that there's a respect and there's an honoring of the horse's wisdom. And then I would really love for the world to experience a collaborative community. People are co-creating and working together, much like what I love what you're doing at Horse World Connect. Okay. That type of energy going out into the world to attract more like that, so that there's a supportive and a place for sharing of resources for the greater good of all.
It's interesting. Most interviews that I've done so far, I've always asked that question, and there's always some sort of, that part, the collaborative part, always comes out in one of those 3 wishes. Yep, I love that.
Yeah, I do too. It just shows the resonance with that way of being that is growing at this point in the world.
Yep. What do you want horse people to remember about you and your business?
I guess the greatest intention is for there to be a place where you can live your dream, and you can grow community, and that you're welcome to show up just as you are. That's one of the biggest things, is being welcomed just as you are and invited to explore that.
I love it. How about some words of wisdom? Do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to share?
Well,
you probably have so many.
Well, the thing that came up for me when I looked at that earlier today, I was like, well, what was the kind of like the words of wisdom growing my family? I have 5 children, one still in the nest. And our foundation was about we treat one another with kindness and respect. And yet going through life, I believe that the most important thing to learn is how to befriend oneself. How do you be kind to yourself? And when we learn how to be kind to ourselves, the rest is easy. So that's really important, to take the time to slow down and really be kind and learn how to love yourself, befriend yourself. Horses really help that happen.
Yes, they make you live in the moment, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you don't and you need to. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the person who's listening to this?
Oh, well, follow your dreams, listen to your heart, and always slow down to notice your breath.
Oh, wow. Talk about words of wisdom, right? I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gloria. This was a wonderful interview, and I hope that people check out your website and your services and connect with you, and especially in January of every year. I love how that's a consistency, right? So people actually know when they listen to this that come January, there's a community that they can join with you there, leading them.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'd really welcome some new people to join that community. It'd be really fun. And perhaps you'll get to come on over sometime and step onto the land yourself. It'd be great fun.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you so much, Gloria.
Yeah, thank you.